What's up, guys? This is Crypto with James talking to you today about Celsius. Celsius is running rampant. The token is going through the roof. Um, and it has been like for the last couple of weeks. So I want to talk about what's happening here. Really issue people with not warning, but caution. For those people that are buying up Celsius right now. Before I get into that, update the spreadsheet. These are the first 26 coins that I spoke about on the channel. Had you invested $100 into each of these when I released videos about them and you were still holding all that crypto, you'd be in profit for about 13.5K. If, however, you'd have cashed out of those positions during the bull cycle, you'd have been in profit for 123K. Crazy the difference between bull cycle and bear cycle. But the bear cycle is the best time to invest. It's where you see the biggest gains from from the bottom of the bear cycle to the top of the bear cycle. You're going to see way, way bigger gains. It's just a fact. It doesn't matter what market it is. And guys, the beauty of the crypto market is obviously that the gains are so much more significant, so much bigger than you would ever see in the NASDAQ or Dow Jones or anything like that. Now is the time to do your research. Now's the time to start looking stuff up. If you don't have time, though, guys, come check out Copy My Cryptos, where I share everything I'm doing, all the coins I'm buying, all the coins I'm selling. Obviously, I'm not really selling, but I am buying during the bear cycle. I've bought a couple coins during the bear cycle, strengthened positions. And I'm looking to add a few more coins into that portfolio before this bear cycle is over. And they're going to be the coins I think are going to be the big gainers for the next bull cycle. So if you want to see what they are and see if I find another Phantom, another coin that did a 677x, then click the link in the description and check it out. All right, look at that. Look at that. Celsius, $1.98. And even if we just look at like a 7-day average or so, look at it. Huge. Huge, effectively doubled. And if you take a month by month, from 80 cents, so you're looking at 2.5. Real good run. And at one point, down to the low 20 cents region. So a 10x from when everything obviously went tits up in June. So what's happening? Well, this is Gamestop. This is Gamestop 2.0. So there's been a short squeeze that has been really driven by a Twitter and a community-driven short squeeze. Rated. Yeah, I loved when GameStop happened. That's what you want to see. So effectively what happened is there's obviously the token dropped to as low as 15 cents on June 12th as they announced that they were halting withdrawals. Obviously Celsius have not acted in the interests of customers. They've acted financially recklessly in terms of how they have utilized customers' funds. They've also not been transparent. They are sort of being now, as far as I'm aware. They're sending emails out and stuff, but that whole unfortunate saga showed how little they respected their customers. That was my impression. Maybe other people had a different impression, but from my perspective, I just saw a company that had self-interest and nothing more. His current price marks a tenfold rise in less than 2 months and a 300% gain since July 13th, when Celsius filed for bankruptcy protection. And if we go to July 13th, Yeah. So in July 13th, it dropped to about 50 cents. So it's about 4x. Yeah, 3. Yeah, it's not bad, is it? 300%. So obviously what's happening is we're seeing speculative assets like Celsius or meme stocks surging as growth equities are trying to recover. We've actually seen this short squeeze in other cryptos. We saw it with Voyager quite recently as well. These community-driven short squeezes were organized on Twitter under the hashtag hashtag sell short squeeze, which likely added to speculation about the token's price. And obviously this is to counter all the traders that have been shorting Celsius and to basically liquidate them. So what's been happening? There's actually $500,000 worth of liquidations recently for Celsius people that were shorting. And obviously these people spot the same thing that we saw with GameStop. And short squeezes are sudden price spikes of embattled assets that force short sellers to buy back at a higher price to cover their positions. What ends up happening is, obviously, as a result of those short sellers having to buy back at a higher price to cover their positions, it increases the overall price. And yeah, we saw it with Voyager. Freezing Celsius's transfers meant that a large part of the total supply of Celsius are actually locked on the platform. Only a fraction of the tokens are actually trade on exchanges. In fact, 4.4 million Celsius tokens are on FTX, which is more than all the other exchanges combined. That's according to a dashboard on crypto data analytics platform Dune. Dune. And meanwhile, the open short positions on the exchange amount to 3 million tokens, which is based on the data compilation that was shown via legacy synthesis. So the community attempts to pressure short sellers by buying sell tokens on FTX, withdrawing this digital currency from the exchange to a private wallet and setting a sell order at a sky-high price. And obviously, because the circulating supply is small, it's technically possible to create a short squeeze, and although the impact in the overall market is going to be limited and hard to sustain over a long period of time. That's Samir Kurbij, who's a crypto asset manager at crypto asset manager Hashtag's chief product and technology officer. So yeah, we saw nearly $500,000 worth of liquidations in the past 24 hours. It's pretty dramatic, you know. The short squeeze has worked a treat. There is a point worth noting though. There's limited upside for investors trying to create the squeeze, other than activism or a show of support for Celsius. But the big downside is the token can go to zero. And yes, technically that's true of a lot of cryptos, but Celsius could dump more tokens into the market. And that's something worth bearing in mind. Look, Celsius, the company themselves, own a shit ton of these tokens. Right now, you know, the circulating supply should be 238 million. So 4.4 million on FTX, that's more than all the other exchanges combined. So even let's just say that they match up 8.8 million Celsius tokens out there. That still leaves 230 million tokens that can be dumped on the market. Let's make no mistake about it. Celsius have not acted in the interest of their customers. Would anyone be surprised if Celsius all of a sudden removed 10 million, 20 million, 50 million tokens from the exchange, dumped them from their platform, dumped them onto the market, sold, made a tidy little profit, even while all this shit is going on? And here's the thing, if you're longing or you're buying now, you know, there's no doubt a lot of these short sellers have made quality returns. Well done. But now exercise a bit of caution because, you know, you got to bear in mind, Celsius at its peak has never been more than $8. The probability that you're going to be able to run this price up much more than where it's at is slim. You might double it again. You might get it up to $4, which is pretty goddamn incredible and fucking rated. But Celsius have not acted in customers' interests. Alex Mashinsky has been a dirty little sod in terms of how he's went about his business. Everything around Celsius has been very, very concerning and dodgy. And they have 230 million tokens knocking about on the exchange. Now, I'm not saying they own them all. Of course they don't. A ton of the users have Celsius tokens on that exchange. but they'll have a proportion, and that proportion will not be a small amount. And if all of a sudden they dump 20 million tokens onto a market where there's only 8 million knocking about, if they sell, they could sell and they could crush the price down. They could wreck people. So you've got to be careful, guys, because withdrawals have not opened up for Celsius. You know, Voyager customers, as of Thursday, can go into the Metropolitan Bank in New York and start doing withdrawals up to 100,000 a day. Yeah, it's going to take like 4 or 5 days to process. Of course it is, but at least they had something in place. Celsius have nothing in place right now. They'll go broke. They'll go bankrupt. They're not going to survive this because of all the people I've spoken to, and that's all I can go off as my sample. But I've spoken to over 10 different people that have used Celsius that would never use it again, that don't trust them at all, that don't even expect to get their money back. They hope they do, but they don't expect to. So what does that tell you? That's probably the overall sentiment. Like, that's literally, I've spoke with 10 people and all 10 said the same thing. Now, tiny sample size. I'm a mathematician. I understand samples. It's not reflective of the overall population. Yes, I'm getting nerdy. But if that's how my friends and people that I know are thinking, it's probably very similar across the board. There will be some people that absolutely support Celsius. There will be some people that believe it can come back, bounce back. But right now, be very, very cautious in your position because they've not acted in anyone's interest in the since their inception. And the short squeeze that everyone's been astoundingly successful at doing could come back and bite you in the arse. Make sure you've taken profits throughout. That's all I'll say. Make sure you've taken profits. And with the run that it's had, I'd be very, very cautious about trying to run the price up anymore. Because I do think these guys could dump on the market. And it's just I just want people to be careful. I just want people to be careful. So, yeah. What do you guys think? Do you like it? Do you like the short squeeze? Because I love that. I genuinely love that. You know, it's like the moment I saw it and the moment I saw it running, I'm like, they're doing a Gamestop. This is awesome. But the difference here is you can't trust Celsius. Can't trust the team. Can't trust the CEO. And I think they could still go down in a blaze of glory, and they could still hurt a lot of people. And it won't be a blaze of glory, of course, but turn of phrase. But I still think they could hurt a lot of the people that are doing the short squeeze at the moment. What do you guys think? Do you think this is going to play out well? How high do you think Celsius can go? Actually, you know what? 2 questions. Do you think they can this short squeeze can run Celsius up any more? And if so, what price do you think it can potentially reach? Number 2, if you're a Celsius user, would you trust them not to dump those tokens on the market? Let me know in the comments down below. I just want to hear what people think. Maybe I get some alternative views from 10 guys that I've spoken to. And that's it, guys. And if you want to see the coins I'm buying up in this bear cycle, the ones I think are going to be doing those rampant gains, those huge, huge runs. Like I said with Phantom, where I said it would 100x, and it way exceeded that. Like I said with VeChain and NKN and Engine. Engine, I said, was going to be one of the biggest gains of the year. I talked about it. I think that was the very first coin I spoke about on the channel. And yeah, if you want to see the coins that I think are going to make those gains again, then come check it out. The site, read through it. Everything's verifiable proof. It's all on YouTube. Have a look. If you like it, come join me. If you don't, then don't. But keep watching the channel, please. Because without you guys, there isn't a channel. And that's it from me. Take it easy. Bye-bye.